Okay, so this is the template, and I will put pictures up of it so that you can actually see it, and how easy it is to make this chocolate candy wrapper holder gift box. So I've done this template so that you can actually see and use paper more efficiently. So you're going to need a whole 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, fairly sturdy cardstock, and then you're going to need a whole 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper as well. So what I've done here is actually shown you ways that you can draw out your template and your pieces so that you can get the most efficient use of your paper. So in saying that, I've gone ahead and I have cut out the coordinating pieces from the card that I'm going to use. So this is going to be the card base. The whole base itself, to start with, is 23.8 centimeters across and 21 centimeters up, and you have to score it at 11 and 12.8 centimeters. So that's what I've done. I've gone ahead and I've scored that piece there. Okay. Then the next piece that you're going to need to have is the actual chocolate insert. So for this piece, once you've cut it to the measurements that I'll outline below, you need to then score it at 1 centimeter in and then 2.8 centimeters in as well, and you'll need to do that the same all the way around. So once you've done that and prepared that, fold your scores and make sure that you use a bone folder so that you get some really good score marks in there. Okay, I'll show you how to trim that up in a minute. Then you need to take your pattern paper, and these are the pieces that I've already pre-cut out of my pattern paper. So again, you can have a look for the measurements down the bottom, but I found it easier to pre-cut my paper and to ink the edges, etc., so that when it's time to go, I don't have to worry so much about everything. So let's go together and start having a look at how you put this together. So if we get this piece to start with, what you're going to need to do is, on your sheets, there'll be a piece that goes on the front, and I've cut it so that you've got a little bit of a border all the way around. Then there'll be a piece that goes on the inside, again with a little bit of a border all the way around. Then there'll be the third piece that goes on this side, but because it's a little bit shorter or not as wide as these pieces, what you'll need to do is you'll probably need to put it up more against the score line of the middle, because what will happen is the pocket can then be placed over on this side. Then taking some of your little strips that you've got, pop your middle strip into there, and same on the back as well. Now what I actually did before I adhered my piece here, I put a little bit of adhesive there and a little bit of adhesive there, and I actually used my ribbon so that it comes out and I've got some. Then turn, this is now the inside, and before you do the inside, what you're going to need to do is, using some strong adhesive, I've been using some of this red Wonder Tape, which is from Ranger, but there's plenty of other brands out there that you can use. Take a little bit, now the ribbon that I'm using is quite wide as well, so I want something that's going to kind of go along the length or the width of that. So I'm going to place some towards the middle there, because I want to be a little bit safe. I'm going to put a little piece going on like that, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on that side. I'm going to make sure that it's a little bit in from the edge. I'm just eyeballing it here. piece going that way, because it doesn't matter if all my ribbon doesn't catch on this. And I always burnish my red tape before taking it off. Just make sure that it's adhered to the base a little bit better. Now, because of the ribbon that I've got, I want to make sure that I've got enough, so I'm just cutting this in half, then removing my tape and sticking my ribbon down like that, making sure that it's adhered really well to the base, and doing the same on the other side, making sure that the ribbon's stuck down. So placing the ends on there. Beautiful. So now when these shut, you've got your ribbon to tie things together. So what we're going to do now is the pieces that we had before, we're going to then stick over the top like so. And again, it's up to you whether you want to use normal adhesive or whether you want to use red tape or score tape. Sometimes I want to use a little bit of score tape because I don't want this to lift up. What we'll do here, I'll make sure that the writing's up where it needs to be. So I will remove those middle pieces and just bend these ones outwards. This just helps when you're positioning your paper, that if you start positioning it and you decide that that's not where you want to be, you haven't actually gone ahead and made the mistake of sticking it all down. So here I get to make sure that yes, this is where I want it to be. Am I lining up? Am I neat? Am I within my score lines? I'm kind of eyeballing it here. So place the tops so that holds things in place. Release the paper. Release the paper on this side. Grab and release. Make sure that that goes down. And then grab and release. So then that's firmly secured. This one I think I'm just going to, doesn't really matter with this one I guess at the end of the day because it's in the middle and nothing's really resting on it. So again, making sure my ends are the same. A 2 ruler actually comes in handy a lot here because it helps you to line up, but most of the time I'm quite happy to eyeball things. So again, just doing that. Over to the sides to release. The middle one can come off though. Now remembering what I said from last time is that we want to make sure that this piece is closer to the score line. Still want to make sure that it adds up and it matches up to where the other ones are sitting, because ideally what's going to happen, and he's gone back on, what's going to happen is the pocket for the chocolate, sorry, I'm thinking and I'm talking at the same time, sometimes it escapes, is going to go over. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead, I'm just showing you on the camera nice and close. There's adhesive down here. This is the flap that's been cut. There's adhesive on the end. There's adhesive on the end here, again another lot on the flap there, and another lot on the flap there. So now we're going to put it together. So what you're going to do is remove the end pieces first. And I do like to use red tape for this part because this is going to be holding a fair bit of weight as well. Ideally it's nice not to balance the whole chocolate bar just on the pocket part, but if we need to, then that's what happens. So just move without lifting up the rest. That one. So now what we're going to do is fold our box in and down. So do that first. So fold your box in like that, so that it sits. Okay. Then I find it easier if you remove these parts and stick the corners down. So now it is flush. So what you need to do now is bring your base, make sure that you've got it the right way. So this is the front, as you've only got that. Turn it over. This is the short part that we want to try and stick it over the top of. So I'm just going to eyeball this to see if I can get it more towards the edge and a little bit more towards the middle. Then using your bone folder, or any tool really that you've got, go along the inside of it to make sure that it's properly adhered down. Sorry about my head in the middle of the camera there, guys. Okay, so once that's down, this is